given Christ's two natures as fully divine and fully human, I wondered if Christ's person, his incarnational person, was different from the Eucharist, in the sense that rather than having a human substance that changed into a divine substance, both of those substances coexist in his person. So my question, riffing off of that, is, can Christ's incarnate person be properly described as being consubstantial? And so, as a quick tag along to that, I've not read any Luther, but is that how Luther would have maybe formulated his position on the Eucharist as well?
Okay, so we're throwing around a lot of technical vocabulary from theology, and so rather than say yes or no, because I have to get a handle on how you're using the terms in the various contexts, let me just back up and give you the Catholic teaching on the nature of the Incarnation and the nature of Christ's presence in the Eucharist, and I can contrast that to Luther, right? So, Catholic doctrine is that in the Incarnation, the second person of the Trinity assumed a human nature, and that the union of the divine and the human in Christ is in his person. So there is a person who has two natures, and the natures are perfectly united but without confusion. So you don't just get like a divinized humanity or a humanized divinity. You have integral divinity and integral humanity, but united in the person, so that you have a single person and not two persons stuck together like some kind of schizophrenic or something like that. You don't have an Oreo cookie stuck together with a mushy center. You actually have a singular person, but has two natures. Now that language is obscure because we don't know anything else like that in reality. Every person we know has one nature, but that's how the Church has defined it. And it does so basically to rule out a number of other errors. A lot of the Trinitarian and Christological dogmas are basically attempts not to coherently express a mystery, which is probably impossible, but to repudiate false ways of conceiving the mystery. As soon as somebody gives you the perfect analogy for the Trinity that removes all difficulty, you know they've invented a heresy, right? And when it comes to the doctrine of the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, the Church's teaching is that the bread and wine and the elements become the body and blood of Christ. He doesn't assume bread and wine to his person in a manner analogous to the Incarnation. That's actually the doctrine of impanation, which the Church rejected. No, they become the substance of Christ's body and blood. And the emphasis on the word substance, this is why we use the word transubstantiation, because it's evident that the bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ in a mysterious way. They don't take on all the properties of bread and wine of body and blood, because they continue to look like bread and wine. So the Church says that what they've become is the substance of Christ's body and blood, but devoid of the accidents or properties. And the way Luther understood the doctrine of Christ's presence in the Eucharist was that Jesus' real presence is truly there, but not by way of transubstantiation, but, as he put it, within and under the species of bread and wine. And he objected to transubstantiation on a number of grounds, but not least of which was he objected to the importation of Aristotelian terminology and categories into Christian theology. So there you have it.